Hi, writers. Finally, the day has come where you will be starting your memoir process piece. So, today we are going to talk about bringing out the big ideas through leads. Now that you've had some time to generate ideas and explore different ways you might structure your memoir, we're going to begin writing our memoir process piece today. Normally, process pieces in class might have taken upwards of 2 months to work on, but we will only have 2 weeks. This means we will have to be working hard each writing day. Starting next week, we will be focusing only on writing. We will be having only 3 days of new lessons and 2 days of editing for your memoir. Please use the 40 minutes of class time to work on your writing. Set a timer if you need to. You should also consider everything that we have learned about so far this year to help you create and write your memoir. We will be looking at some mentor memoirs to help us focus on the new strategies that we will cover in this unit. Today, we're going to focus on specifically memoir beginnings or leads. It's important that you have an idea or theme in mind that you want to show before you begin writing your memoir. So, think about an idea or theme that you came up with in your digital writer's notebook. And remember that a memoir is about you, so it's about your real life experiences. Okay, so today we're going to look at a few different strategies for leads, and ultimately you will figure out which one you want to start with and use, and then you'll begin writing. So there are some different ways to bring out the big ideas in our memoir, and our focus on how to do that is through our lead. So, first of all, your memoir should begin by introducing the big idea or theme about your life. And you could do this either in a very explicit or clear way, or you can do it in a way that kind of like foreshadows what the big idea will be or what you'll realize in the end of this memoir. So you want to make sure that your memoir starts and ends in a way that shows the big idea or theme. Okay, so there's three different strategies that we're going to look at today, and we're going to look at an example of each of them. So the first one is asking a thoughtful question. The second one is stating a realization about yourself. And the last one is painting a descriptive or symbolic scene. So in the first example or strategy, um, we're focusing on asking a thoughtful question. So if we think back to some of you may have not read Tyler's memoir, um, but Tyler's memoir actually uses some questions in the very beginning of his memoir. So he starts off by saying, have you ever made someone go on something you hated? Did you ever say you didn't have to go on? Or let's not do this? Well, that is the part of you that is 11 years old. Or when you say, please, can you go on? That is the part of you that is 4. And when you don't let her get off, that is the part of you that is 2. Well, this happened to me once. So actually, I think I'm hearing some of the short story 11 by Sandra Cisneros. He's definitely was influenced by that short story, which is great. So some of the things that, if you're thinking about using questions to consider is to use a question as a way to introduce what the story will be about. Also, consider the question as a way to engage with your audience. And lastly, this could be definitely a good strategy if you're writing a narrative structured or essay structured memoir. So Tyler's essay is actually structured in more of a narrative way, so it sounds more like a story, which is great. And I mean, the questions work for that, but I think they could also work for an essay structured memoir as well. So it depends on whether you want to decide to do narrative or essay. This could actually be a good strategy for either one. Okay, the next strategy is stating a realization about yourself. So this is when if you're looking to just state the big idea or theme pretty much right away, this is what you would want to do. So here's Henry's final draft. So his draft was actually more of an essay structure. So I'll just reread his beginning. I've had fun times and I've gone many places. In order to have this much fun, I've realized you have to take the chance of always living life to the fullest when you can. When you live life to the fullest, it can take away your fears. Living life to the fullest can also push your motivation to try new things. And living life to the fullest can help you appreciate what life offers. So this definitely sounds more like an essay structure, and his is essay structure. So this is a great strategy if you are deciding to write your memoir in more of an essay format where you're using examples to support an idea. Okay, so he clearly, or this strategy clearly and explicitly states the idea, realization, or theme right from the beginning. It's very clear what the lesson is here. So you would write it in a similar way to writing a thesis statement. So you want to think all the way back to when we did our essay unit, where you have your claim, so that's the big idea, and then your reason. So like his big idea is living life to the fullest and take away your actually it's that if you realize that you can take chances, you realize that you have to take chances and live life to the fullest when you can. And then he gives reasons why you should do that. And then in the rest of his memoir, he would support those and he would give examples. And this, like I said before, strategy works really well if you're writing an essay structured memoir. And the final strategy is painting a descriptive or symbolic scene. So, like in Adam's story, memoir, it's written more like a story. So I'll read the beginning of Adam's. My brother came outside with one last suitcase in his hand. He crammed it in the back of my mom's car with all the others. Then John slammed the back of my mom's car shut. Through the tinted glass, I could see the soccer ball that we would shoot into our goal on hot summer evenings. Our eyes met when he turned around. Sadness flew straight through me, as clear as the mournful sound of John's bassoon. My brother hugged me. I pulled him closer. I'm going to miss you badly, he said. Okay, so you could see here that this strategy is when you would paint a picture of the setting and what's happening using um, different types of details, of narrative details, such as action, dialogue, description, and maybe even thought. So you can see here in Adams, he has a few of these. He has some dialogue, he has some description, and he even has some action. You definitely would want to use descriptive language in this particular type of lead to draw the reader in and to make it clear to them what's going on. This is a great strategy if you're writing a narrative structured memoir. So, if you're deciding that you want to write your memoir to sound more like a story, then painting a descriptive scene in the beginning would be a great way to start. Okay, so here's your task today. Today's task is to begin your memoir process piece on the document that's shared with you in classroom. You can write as much as you'd like today, meaning, you can get as far into your memoir as you want to or can. You should be spending at least 20 to 30 minutes writing. And remember that we will be spending 2 more weeks on this, so you shouldn't be finished, meaning like, "I'm done, I'm turning it in, there's nothing else for me to do," with your memoir today. We're going to be spending some time focusing on strategies to revise our writing next week, which means you might have to go back and add new things in or remove parts from your writing that you even do today. Before you begin, you should have the big idea or theme about you and your life already decided, because remember that in your memoir, you wanna take that idea, and that's what you're trying to show through this particular, story or through your essay, through different examples. So you should definitely have that big idea or theme already decided. You might wanna go back into your digital writer's notebook where you, did your growing ideas entry and look back at that, and see what the theme was, and you could use that same theme if you would like to, or if you would like to try a different theme, you can, but you definitely can use that same theme that you generated already. All right, if you have any questions, I'll be here, and off you go.